Me explain, stock now. So, way back in 1602, right? Like literally this is like 4 centuries ago or some shit. There was a company that had a higher GPD than modern day Japan. It's actually wild. So, anyway, this country, super rich multinational, right? Apparently they ain't that rich because they're wanting to invest into new territories, but lacking the money to do so. Until they realized they could just let their citizens pay for it, and in return, they give them a percent of the revenue. And this really ain't that different at all from what we now call the stock market. And while I could talk all day about how cool it is that there was a company back in the 1600s that was bigger than Apple, Google, and Amazon combined, they're all dead now. So who actually cares? All we really care about is how to profit off their legacy. And to do so, you first gotta know what a stock is. When a company wants to make more money, what they do is called going public. Going public allows a company to sell very small slivers of itself to the open market. These small slivers are called shares. So your goal is to hopefully sell these shares for more than what you've bought them at. So you can imagine if you've bought one share of Amazon stock at $5, and then in a month it goes up to being worth $8, and you sell it, well, you've made $3. Okay, so we know what a stock is, but how do you pick one? Picking a stock is confusing as hell. Even the most rich, like Warren Buffett ass motherfuckers, at best are just guessing at like a higher degree than us. First question I would ask you though is, why do you want to join the stock market? Are you planning to do a more practical long-term investment style where over years it builds up? Or are you a true Chad who wants to gamble away his life savings in a more fancier way? Dad, why is mom crying? What'd you do with our life savings? It's in the fucking ether, boyo. I don't know what to tell you. What? What do you not get? It's fucking gone. Kablooey. Gone. Like, forever. Like, I bet it all on red, and it landed on black. You're gonna have to find a new home. Here's your toy box. Go live in that. What? Because when you really think about it, the stock market is the gambling, what wine is the drinking. Yeah, you may look a lot better doing it. You can call it just getting wine drunk. But at the end of the day, you're still getting shit-faced like the rest of us. Okay, back to the whole how does any of this work. In a perfect world, the stock price would rise with the value of the company and fall with it as well, but that rarely ever actually happens. See, the stock market is kind of like a hive mind. It really is, where when anything comes out about a company, be it a lawsuit, PR, like just anything at all, there's always going to be someone who sells. There'll always be a very small group of people at the very least who sell. Now, there's another group of people who are anticipating this and know that those people will. So they try and sell before they do so they can maximize profits. You know, they're trying to sell before the other people do. Because if the other people sell and then they sell, their stock would be worth less when they sell. And then there's another group anticipating the fact that those people will do that, and knowing that this will cause a huge decline in the stock price, they try and sell before they do. This creates a very vicious cycle where even though the value of the company hasn't changed at all, the stock price has. Think that's weird? Wait till you realize that a company's value doesn't actually change the stock price. Theoretically, a company could be doing amazing, but if nobody was buying their stock, then the price wouldn't change at all. It would just be very stagnant. And the reverse is true as well. A company could be doing horrible, but if everyone was buying it, the stock price would go up. This has actually happened before with GameStop. I'm actually going to talk about that more later on, because I don't think most people quite understand what happened there, and just how crazy it was. The only factor that actually causes a stock price to change is the buying and selling of it. Why? Supply and demand. The more of a stock that is bought, the less there is that can be bought, making it rare and worth more. While companies used to use the stock market to gain capital and expand into new ideas, please consumers, workforce, and overall do what was best for the company in the long term, in the 70s, this all started to change. Many corporations adopted the Milton Friedman philosophy, where the sole responsibility of a company is to maximize profits for the shareholders. You know, cutting costs, laying off workers, short-term gains that usually hurt the company in the long run. In a lot of companies, it was taken as far as tying the CEO's salary to the stock price. Remember how I said we were going to talk about GameStop again? Well, time is now. So, shorting is when you anticipate a stock is going to fall in price, so you borrow that stock from a lender, having to pay them back in money for whatever that stock price is worth at a later date. You then immediately sell that stock, and hopefully by the time you have to pay back the lender, the stock is worth less. Meaning that if I borrowed the stock when it was worth $10, and now it's only worth $5, I only have to pay that lender back $5 per share. Meaning I've made $5 on every share that I borrowed. Now this is obviously very risky because the stock price can go up an untold amount, meaning you could have to pay back more than what you borrowed. Example, if I borrowed it when it was worth $10 and now it's worth $30, well now I have to pay back plus 20 on what I borrowed. This is exactly what happened with GameStop. Wall Street was shorting it, Reddit realized this, and in turn, they all invested in the GameStop, making the stock price go up, losing Wall Street literal millions. Well, that is pretty much the end of this video. But here's some genuine advice for any of you actually interested in the stock market. You're probably going to go look at other videos of people explaining stocks. They're way more in depth and make a lot more sense than what I've said. When watching those people, if they happen to recommend a certain stock for you to buy, and it just so happens that that stock is kind of like obscure and not bought a whole lot, they've probably already bought the stock and are hoping their viewers will then buy it, inflating the price so then they can sell, making money. This is a pretty common scam and is like the equivalent of a crypto YouTuber doing a rug pull. With that being said, buy Snap. Yeah, baby, you fucking heard me. It may have just hit a 30% decline. And yeah, they may have no clue how to monetize their business, but they're bouncing back and we're riding it to the moon. Okay, bye.